Hey guys, Nico here. So I'm currently out on the west coast of New Zealand. It's my first time down here. It's been quite a spectacular walk. So I've been hiking for a few days now and got a couple more to go, which is probably why I'm looking a bit rugged at the moment, to say the least. So yeah, as I was hiking, I came across quite a lot of Tutu. It's a poisonous plant, so I thought I would show you guys. Anyway, let's get right to it. So this here is a pretty good specimen. Basically, the Tutu plant has leaves that are growing opposite. So you've got this. Let's find a good twig. Just one moment. You've got these alternating leaves running right up the stem. The leaves are quite broad, quite flamboyant. Yeah. Quite green. Quite green. They can be quite a light or a dark green, but it's almost different from the rest, especially the stems. They're a little more neon colored. There is another plant that can be confused with this one. In fact, it's an edible plant, and people have made the mistake of thinking that this is that. So that plant is supplejack. The reason for that confusion is supplejack is sort of a vine that's got actually leaves that look just like that, with the veins running down the middle, sort of vertically as opposed to out to the side. And supplejack has, like I said, a vine with an end sort of like an asparagus. The reason why people get confused is because this stem here has a very asparagus-like point, but it's not edible. In fact, it will hospitalize you, from what I understand. Yeah, probably not the best way to go. So at the base of the plant, you've got these hanging little vines, almost like thin grapes. Around, I think, December, January, February, the plant flowers, and after that you get berries. Now, well, they look like berries. So, like I said, everything on this plant is poisonous, except there are flower petals that grow. They look like berries, but it's tightly wrapped, succulent flower petals. I'm being eaten by sandflies at the moment. 1 second. Okay, so the juice from the flower petal can be eaten, but inside of those petals there is a seed that is also very poisonous. In conclusion, if I were you, I would just steer clear of it. Okay, I'm being eaten alive, so I'm just gonna head over to the river. So I'll give you guys a quick glimpse at the river. There's a ton of this stuff all over the place. Here it is. So that's one, that's one. That's one. Where are we? So all along the banks, all of that stuff hanging into the water is not supplejack, Tutu, so poisonous. Better stay away from that.
Hey everyone, Future Niku here. So I'll just quickly go over some of the similarities and differences between Tutu and supplejack. So that's the one that people get confused with. I'll do a more in-depth video on it some other time. Alright, so firstly, that green asparagus shoot I showed you guys, that on the Tutu, that's poisonous. It looks very similar to the supplejack vine, and this is edible, so this is supplejack, and you can eat the end of that. Once again, I'll do more detail on it later on, but main difference between the two, the poisonous one, Tutu, has got is a very thick green stem, and it's not a vine plant, it's more of a bush or a tree, whereas supplejack is a black stalky vine almost. Here's one up close. So all of this vine stuff is supplejack. So here you go, this stuff here. Yeah, so this is edible. Oh, there's another. Sorry guys. Yeah, so next up, the leaves. Now both the Tutu and the supplejack have, oh, there's a spider on my neck. Right, so in terms of the leaves, both the supplejack and the tutu have leaves that grow in an opposite arrangement. So this is the supplejack, of course. See how it grows opposite to the stem on opposite sides? And then the veins on this one also come down the leaf like the tutu. But you'll notice the leaf is much more dull than it is on the tutu. And there's it's sort of a bit more sparse and not as neatly arranged. And one last thing, both plants have what look like berries. On the poisonous tutu, it is actually a flower, and on the supplejack, it's a berry. Now the berry on the edible one, the supplejack, is much bigger than the flower or berry on the tutu, poisonous. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And also the tutu, the thing that looks like the berry, which is actually a flower, has petals that are really tightly folded. So if you take a closer look, then that's one way you can distinguish it. Alright, so I'll go back to the video for now, and I apologize for the terrible hairdo and the sweat and everything like that. I've been hiking, at that point at least, for 4 days, now 5 days, and I haven't seen a mirror or a shower in a long time, so do excuse me on that front.
Just over there is a family of paradise ducks, I think that's what they're called. Hang on, let me just get a little closer. There it is. There's one. It's a little hard to zoom in on this GoPro. Everything is so small. So I'm just going for a little bit of a wander further downstream. It's really, really beautiful down here. We started our hike up in the Alps this morning. So way up where there's no forest or anything. And but it was soaking wet, like just didn't stop raining. So all that rain has now washed down into this basin. I don't know how high we are above sea level. I think we're about 100 meters or so. So all that water has flushed down to here, and all of this would have been dry this morning. It's like these clear little creeks, so it's quite nice actually. So one of the things I have yet to try out on my GoPro is to dip it in water. I'm really scared to do it. It just feels so wrong. Everything in me is like, seriously, that's a bad idea. One day when it's necessary. Hope you guys learned something, and for now I'm going to head home to my warm cozy hut just over that way. Smoke is coming out of the chimney and it is warm. Now I need to find where I put the rest of my camera gear.